Kigong really is the same as Qigong. It's just the way the Koreans say it, and it's I teach the flavor of a Korean Kigong. Now, what's it all about? You've got various things that do yoga, Qigong, Tai Chi, various things where people actually try and lift their health, their spirit, their energy level. So with Kigong or Qigong, like most Qigong, which you may or may not know about, what we try and do is we've got two main aims in it. One is to clear your energy channels. Okay, now the energy channels we're talking about the same ones that are in Indian yoga or in the Chinese medical system. Okay, so we're talking about the acupuncture channels. All right. So the first goal is to clear the channels. Now that may include emotional release, and it's probably going to be one of the factors that happens. All right. Now we don't try and do that. It's just a byproduct of what we're doing. The second thing we try and do in Qigong is to build people's energy level. Okay. Now I had a student the other night, and he came in and he was built like a brick outhouse. Okay. He did not need to build his energy level. All right. In fact, if we try and do the exercise, it was counterproductive. For him, he needed to release the channels. He needed to soften the tone of his muscles so that he could actually stay mobile. Right. So it depends on where you're at. But in general, most people, and this is my experience, is most people have enough time to do what they're doing. They just don't have the energy to utilize in the time they're doing it. So one of the other aims of Qigong is to build your energy. The other thing, I suppose, is that one of the reasons I do Qigong was I'm a little bit of a control freak, which means that, like I had a very good Korean friend who was into Zen meditation. So in Korea, that's the main non-Christian religion there is Zen Buddhism. And he knew what I was doing. And so what they do there is that they just go intensive meditation retreats, okay? And eventually, if they're lucky, they get some realizations like emptiness, okay, crystal concentration, and eventually they can become enlightened, okay? But there's very, very few signposts along the way. They just do it, and then leave. So my friend would say to me, your Qigong, you're not going for enlightenment, you're going for enlightenment in 1,000 cuts. Okay, you're not going for the main thing. Now what that means is, Qigong is really great for control freaks because we get a lot of feedback on what we're doing along the way. Okay, there are lots and lots and lots of signposts. You can feel whether it's doing you any good or not along the way. There are certain things that happen. For one, you start to do the exercises, maybe your fingers get redder. Okay, your circulation's getting better. Okay, you might suddenly feel lighter. You might feel more centered. Okay, you might feel things are happening. Like for instance, you're doing the exercises. Suddenly, old injuries come up. That's a great sign of progress. All right, because what's happening is the energy is going through an old pattern and trying to release it because it didn't get fully released in the first place. So you're getting old injuries coming up. Okay, so there's lots and lots of signposts. So for someone like me who's a little bit of a control freak, it's great because I can see what's happening along the way. All right, now one of the things, most of you people have tried to meditate, I'm certain of it. It's not easy. Okay, one of the ways that Kigong or Qigong works is that you focus in on your body and you focus in on the energy of the body as a tools to meditate. Now that makes it a lot easier. It's a lot easier to let go of the mind a little bit. Okay, you probably have to try to do it, but one of the things I do in my classes is I'll just do a simple exercise. I'll just show you one. I just do a shaking exercise, and you just got to focus in on the coordination of the body. All right. While you're doing that, you're letting go of, okay, my kid's over here. I'm worried that they've joined a gang. My daughter's married a bad man. Whatever it is that's happened, You're not thinking about it because we're getting you involved in the body, okay? And we're getting you involved in the energy system. Now, this whole energy thing, you can talk about, you can get acupuncturists to draw diagrams, etc. But it's not much use to you if you don't have a, what do you call it, a belief or some evidence that it's there, okay? So one of the first things that we do, and I'd like you to do, is I'd like you to actually just do a little exercise with me if you can. If you can do it, it's great. If you can't, you can't. So, because if you can actually feel it, it helps your belief in what you're doing and to get some feedback on how you're going, all right? And I like to do that in classes because if you get the feeling for it, it's a lot easier to keep going, okay? I'll tell you some stories about that. The first time I did Kigong, I was with a Korean teacher. It was at the College of Australian Medicine. We just did this shaking exercise. We're just doing like this, just shaking, shaking, shaking for about 10 minutes. Suddenly, the whole room, I can feel everybody's energy just like release, okay? Like I'm at a gospel Christian church and they're singing Hallelujah, etc. And then suddenly there's this feeling, this washes over the whole room. So I could feel that. I could almost feel like I'm one with all the other people there, and I can feel their energy just release and go lighter, all right? After that session, it had me hooked. I was like drunk for about 3 hours. I hadn't drunk a thing, but I was just like, oh, wow, I'm feeling good, okay? And after I think, okay, what is this stuff? There's something here, all right? Now, I'd felt that feeling before, okay? I'd had friends that were in Pentecostal churches. I'd done that experience. The feeling was almost exactly the same. So I was thinking, okay, this is a physical thing that happens when you do this sort of stuff, okay? It may be so-called spiritual, but it's a physical thing that happens. Okay, so let's just do a quick exercise. What I want you to do is just rub your hands together, nice and easy. Now, when you're doing it, relax your shoulders. Everyone, as soon as you try and do something, the shoulders go up like this, so just keep them relaxed because we don't want to block the energy channels. All right, so nice and fast, quick as you can. Like that. That's it. I could do another one. I could do the shaking, but some of you aren't going to stand, so this is a little bit easier. All right, okay. Now what I want you to do is I want you to rub the fingernails together like this, and you've got to keep it going. You can't stop, okay, unless your arm cramps up. Your finger cramps up. We're trying to rub the bones together. So your bone or your fingernails, they're a ceramic. So if you do work on a ceramic, you get a piezoelectric current. So my background is I came from a science background and then went more into humanities as I got older, which is possibly a common thing with a lot of people. All right, now just put your hands like this and bring them further and closer apart. Lionel, can I turn the light out in the room? Sorry to... Oh, yeah, cool. All right. Now, there's a reason why I did that. Okay, so bring your hands closer and further apart. Can anyone feel anything between the hands? Okay, like a tingling. Now, that's not proof that anything's there. I can tell you from a scientific background, that just could be a body feedback that's going on, that you're getting a feeling here, but it's nothing to do with anything in between. So can I put my hands between yours? Okay. Just bring them a little bit further apart. Can you feel anything between our hands? As I do that, can you feel any change? Okay, what about here? Okay, now, this is just a little bit of a proof. Now, if he can feel it when I'm doing it, it's not just his hand that's actually doing it's not just a feeling here and there's nothing happening here, okay? So what happens with this stuff is we've got a body has got a bioelectrical field. When my field interacts with someone else's field or my field interacts with my own field, I can feel a sensation. Okay, so that's what this stuff, this qi is, this energy stuff. It's your body's bioelectrical field. In Chinese medicine, they talk about as qi is the thing that moves things in the universe. Okay, in a body level, where the qi goes, the blood flows. That's what they say in Chinese medicine. All right, so I've got, the basic theory is, if I can move the qi freely through my body, I can keep my organs in good health. I can stay functional longer and I can live longer, purely because the energy is flowing. So I can get blood, I can get fluid to all areas of my body, and I can get rid of wastes in the body, okay? Now, you've probably heard this before. I'm probably preaching to converted. If I've got a block in the energy, and it's along one of these meridians, so for example, here's my lung meridian, and I've got a block here, my lungs aren't going to be in good shape. Okay? So the block may not come from there, it might come from the lungs, and then this isn't in good shape, anywhere along the meridian lines. So if I can release that block, I'm in better health. Okay? I can do that through exercises, and I can do it through my mind. Okay, now the mind is a little bit harder because you've got to train it. So what we try and do with the Qigong is we try and train you progressively, first doing just gross physical exercises, but you're with awareness, and we start to get the mind, as we're doing the exercises, to start moving the energy around the body. Okay? Now if we're meditating, so-called meditation, we're doing that as well, and we're focusing in on the energy. Now it's a lot easier once you can feel it to actually meditate on the energy than it is to try and stop your mind and slow down your mind. It's way, way easier because you've got a phenomenon, this thing's going on, like you see kids, oh, that's interesting, I'm doing that, I can see that. It's easy for them to focus on stuff, okay, because something's happening, all right? Even if you did Vipassana meditation, when you get into that, they're focusing in on the energy body and they're just shunting it around the body as well. Okay, they're not saying that. They're just getting you to focus on different parts of the body as you're doing it. Okay, guys, let's put it over to you. I'm not sure of the timing here. I might be running out of time. Okay, all right. Has anyone got a quick question for me before they shunt me off? Anyone? Yep. Yes, if you can practice every day, it's good. If you can't, you do what you can. That's my life, and I found sometimes I'd be like a recovering alcoholic or something, or you know, I'd be doing it. I'd fall off the wagon, get back on again. Yep. How long? Depends on your circumstance. If you could do half an hour a day, that would be great. If you can't do half an hour a day and you could do 5 minutes, it would have some benefit. What some people do, and this is actually traditional, is they'll do 5 minutes when they've got 5 minutes, they'll do another 5 minutes, they'll do another 5 minutes whenever they've got the time or whenever it comes up in their mind to think about it. And somewhere in that you might get a regular pattern. Okay, it's better if you can do it at the same time every day for the same period of time, but it's better to do something than nothing. In Taoism, they have a saying, they say everything furthers, which means whatever you do, and it may not be directly related, will help you along the path. All right. You've been a great audience. Thanks very much, guys.